Famines, throughout at least the last century of our history, have not been caused by a lack of food. They have been caused by relative poverty. The economic resources were so inequitably distributed that the poor simply didn't have enough money with which to buy the food that would have been available if they could have afforded to pay for it. That would be an example of structural violence. Another example. In Africa and other areas, I'll particularly focus on Africa, tens of millions of people are dying of AIDS. Why are they dying? It's not because we don't know how to treat AIDS. We have millions of people in the wealthy countries getting along remarkably well because they have the medicines that will treat it. The people in Africa who are dying of AIDS are not dying because of the HIV virus. They are dying because they don't have the money with which to pay for the drugs that would keep them alive. Gandhi saw this. He said, "The deadliest form of violence is poverty." And that's absolutely right. Poverty kills far more people than all the wars in history, more people than all the murderers in history, more than all the suicides in history. Not only does structural violence kill more people than all the behavioural violence put together, structural violence is also the main cause of behavioural violence.
And I said, look, we'd like to ask you to work for us for 50 cents a year, and if you would devote at least 20 hours a week.
Where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organised conspiracy to oppress, rob, and degrade them, neither persons nor property will be safe.
Baltimore's finest right here, thank you.
And finally, another mechanism of defense of this system worth noting is the false assumption trading has been necessary in periods of scarcity. Why? By this logic, one could also say capital punishment has been necessary as it's the only way of dealing with evil people. As we've previously discussed, trading is violence. It's an addiction to wealth and is practiced because of ignorance. It doesn't deal with scarcity whatsoever because it's based on self-interest. It does, however, increase inequality the more it goes on. In a trading-based society, the propensity for an addiction to monetary profit means an equal exchange is impossible. Trading is inherently irresponsible because it assumes people are individuals and that they must absolutely take responsibility for themselves. This responsibility translates to, with property comes the defense of property. Trading totally ignores social causality because the assumption is trading brings prosperity, so the fault must be solely with the human being. Our trading society did not previously resolve scarcity, and our current trading society is not resolving scarcity either. The reasons given to justify trading aren't reasonable. They're false advertising strategies, the nature of any commercial advertisement. Trading, money, politics, and religion result in addiction, war, poverty, and pollution. These are things humanity is enduring due to our ignorance. They aren't signs of progress. They're signs of social sickness. The scientific progress that's being made directly goes against the beliefs required for these backwards realms to exist. I'd like to clarify that this is not a conspiracy theory. Such a term can be used in a derogatory way, to deny any conspiracies can happen, with a disregard of what the word conspiracy even means. As if the term conspiracy theory is one word and not two. This is because of malicious, selfish beliefs in the market, in patriotism, and therefore the military or gun rights, in religion, in politics, or anything that glorifies division to the degree of glorifying destruction. The word conspiracy is defined as a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. And applied to this context, the word theory means a proposed explanation whose status is still conjectural and subject to experimentation, in contrast to well-established propositions that are regarded as reporting matters of actual fact. Let's take 9/11 as a quick example. Was it globally announced on the news that 9/11 was going to happen? No. So if we're going to use English, the word conspiracy is the correct word to describe the event. The two main theories that explain the event are Osama bin Laden and a government inside job. However, both are wrong as they don't go far enough. Conspiracy is a phenomenon observed in a market society to make people fearful, since such fearful events will continue the market and belief processes. In other words, the 9/11 event becomes a shallow commercial. Did 9/11 happen to a friend or family member you know? Are you afraid of terrorists? They become a patriotic terrorist and strike fear into them first with the right religion instead of Islam. And buy a gun to protect yourself. Only $9.95 for the latest pistol in the gun series of guns. Fight fire with fire so everyone burns, TM. You see, those who believe in trading can't overcome a cognitive dissonance. They'll recognize scam artists exist, yet believe these are simply some bad apples. They'll try to distance the concept from the truth. Trading is an active conspiracy. That's a fact, not a theory. It's not a win-win situation. Both parties are attempting to get the better end of the deal. They don't even trust each other. They don't trust one another. When a businessman sits down to negotiate a deal, the first thing he does is to automatically assume that the other guy's a complete lying prick who's trying to fuck him out of his money. So he's got to do everything he can to fuck the other guy a little bit faster and a little bit harder. And he's got to do it with a big smile on his face. You know that big bullshit businessman smile? And if you're a customer, whoa, that's when you get the really big smile. Customer always gets the really big smile as the businessman carefully positions himself directly behind the customer and unzips his pants and proceeds to service the account. I'm servicing this account. This customer needs service.